So if I shrug my shoulders, what kind of contraction is that? Is that, I'm sorry, let me back up. When a muscle shortens, when my upper trap shortens, that contraction is named concentric, because it is shortening, or it's moving with the fibers, or because the fibers are moving the bones together, or moving the bones in the direction that they are designed to move. When I lengthen, my upper trap is still contracted. If I have a weight in my hands and I'm lowering my hands down, my upper trap is still contracting, but it's eccentric. So when you lengthen, that's eccentric. Shortening is concentric, lengthening is eccentric. And you have to be really clear about what's lengthening and what's shortening. Con, C-O-N, here's your medical terminology. Con, C-O-N means with, ec, E-C, means against or away from. So if I'm shrugging my shoulders, what kind of, unmute yourselves, what kind of contraction is happening in the upper trap? Is it concentric or eccentric?
Concentric.
That's right. And what kind of contraction is happening in the latissimus dorsi? Concentric or eccentric?
Eccentric.
That's right. Which one is the prime mover for the shoulder shrug? The trap or the lat?
The trap.
Yes. And okay. And is that Khalees speaking?
Yes.
Okay. Good job, Khalees. Now let someone else speak. So not let someone else speak, but everybody take turns. Everybody be sure to jump in. Don't let one person steal the show. Okay, now so we did okay. So if I'm extending my neck, where's the concentric contraction happening? In the back of the neck or in the front of the neck? Where's the concentric? Where are the muscles shortening right now?
In the back of the neck.
There you go. There you go. And where are they lengthening?
In the front.
That's right. So in neck extension, what contraction is happening where? Rosie?
Extension. I want to say latissimus dorsi, but I'm
No, you can just say like the back of the neck, because
back of the neck.
yeah, well, because we don't know all of these muscles. But
Okay.
we'll review them again. So in the back of the neck, you have what? Concentric or eccentric?
Concentric.
That's right. And in the front, you have.
Eccentric.
That's right. And which one is the agonist and which is the antagonist in neck extension?
The concentric, the one that's working, the back.
That's right. Is the concentric one in the back, is that the agonist or the antagonist?
That's the agonist.
That's right. Very good. Very good. Okay.
So that is the one lengthening.
The one lengthening is in the front. If we're doing neck extension, right? So the front is lengthening right now and the back is shortening. So you could say
So the back would be the antagonist.
the front would be the antagonist. Yes.
Okay.
Question? All good? Okay. So then in the ventral surface, you have the abdominal muscles, and then you have, let's say, the spinal erector group. Okay. So if I flex through the spine, it's the flexors that are doing the what contraction? Concentric or eccentric? Yeah, the abdominals.
Concentric.
Concentric, that's right. And the eccentric contraction is happening in the spinal
The
erector,
back.
in the extensors. Yes, that's right. If I extend, the opposite happens. So if I'm extending, which one is the agonist, the extensors or the abdominals?
Extensors.
The extensors are the agonist. The psoas and the iliopsoas. We'll look at an anatomical drawing of those in a moment. But the psoas begins on either side of the lumbar spine, up around the diaphragm, and the fibers come down, and deep inside they come down, and then they start to come out, and they join with the fibers of this other muscle that's inside of the ilium called the iliacus, and they form this insertion point here, the iliopsoas. It's actually considered a third muscle: iliopsoas, iliacus, psoas. And the psoas, the iliacus, and the iliopsoas, they function very strongly in flexion. The psoas muscle also does hip flexion and some external rotation. However, its main function for the test especially is flexion. So it's a popular thing to ask on test questions. If someone is kicking a ball to the front, or if someone is, squatting down, for example, which muscles are firing in the front? And they'll name them for you, right? So they'll say biceps femoris, which would be correct, right? Psoas, or they may say iliopsoas. Don't get thrown by that. Iliopsoas, right? In the front, or they may say biceps femoris, which is in the back there, in the front, and then iliopsoas in the front. Try to swap the back for the front. So iliopsoas is definitely a term that you want to learn. So if I'm kicking a ball to the front or raising my leg to the front, by the way, this is hip what? Hip flexion or extension?
Hip flexion.
Hip flexion. That's right. Very good. So where's the concentric contraction? Is it in the front or in the back?
In the back.
front.
The concentric contraction, is it in the front or in the back?
In the back.
The front.
Rosie, it's in the front.
Front. Okay.
It's in the front because these muscles are shortening. If you're sitting down,
Yeah.
if you're sitting down right now and you just go like this, you can feel these muscles contracting without touching them or anything. You can feel them contracting, right? So this is the shortening. So this is concentric. It helps to think about the surface of the body, right? So when the question says the person is kicking to the front, think about the front closing, the front closing, the front closing. This is shortening. This must be a concentric contraction in the front. Muscles in the back have to eccentrically contract or relax in order to allow the front to contract concentrically. And the muscles in the front that contract concentrically, those are the iliopsoas, rectus femoris, sometimes called the hip flexor, the thigh muscles, right? And the ones that are contracting in the back, those are, just humor me, eccentric or concentric?
Eccentric.
That's right, eccentric. And those are, can you name some of them? How about the back of the leg? Can you name a couple of them in the back of the leg?
Hamstring.
Yeah, hamstring is kind of like a nickname for four muscles. For four muscles, there's three names, right? There's the bi, just like you have the bi here, a two-headed muscle here. There's the bi here, except it's not biceps brachii in the leg, it's biceps femoris or femur. So it's biceps femoris. And then on the inside, the furthest medial hamstring group, do you guys know what those are called?
No.
Those are called the semimembranosus, semitendinosus, and an easy nickname for them is the semis or the semicitric. Okay, let me switch the view. And then we're going to go over some, we're going to go over some muscles. So part of the, my job is to get you ready for the MBLEx, right? Part of being able to do well on the MBLEx is seeing words, terminology, and knowing exactly where they are in the body, right? And that aspect of location, of being able to visualize it in your mind, like being able to go like this and feel your hip flexor contracting, being able to, move like that and to feel a muscle in the back of the shoulder blade contracting, hearing someone say semimembranosus, semitendinosus, and not freaking out, oh my God, I don't know where that is. That's a skill that takes practice.
So are both of those on the hamstring?
What's that?
Are those two muscles you just named on the back of the leg?
Yes, we're going to look at them right now. So you have the semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and then the biceps femoris.